New operation, new cases, new content. Today we're going to be breaking down what happens and how you can profit off a brand new update. Now first I want to dive into the most relevant update, and that's the CS2 update, and not specifically what CS2 is going to do to the market, but the brand new buy menu, which really hasn't been commented on too much, but holds a significant amount of power, and that's because you're only going to be having 5 weapons per category. This also includes the fact that you could have the M4A4 and the M4A1S, which statistically are polar opposites, and that's going to be a very big impact. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins, with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options, and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now looking at this specifically, there is the potential for a very significant impact on the market. Obviously, we just mentioned with the M4A4 and the M4A1S, pretty much all potential of that, in my opinion, is going to be gone, because once we see the full rollout of CS2, most likely everyone is going to have both of these equipped, especially if they're at different price points, which goes ahead and gets rid of the possibility of flipping those skins. However, the mid tier is the most interesting, because this is the most combined weapons into 5 slots. This means that 50% of the weapons aren't going to be equipped, because in CSGO you've got 10 slots, in CS2 only 5. Now when it comes to investing purposes, I don't really think this is going to be the most massive difference. If we want to look at the weapons here, most of them are not commonly used. In all honesty, when it comes down to these skins, I really don't think there's going to be that much impactful news coming from this area. That's just because if you're already using a skin, you most likely are going to transfer it over, and you're not going to sell your skins just because you don't have that item actively equipped, at least in my opinion. But the much more interesting area is an operation. Now a lot of people have the idea that an operation is going to release with Counter-Strike 2, and that's not necessarily super wrong, especially if we want to look at the track record. Operations currently were in the second largest drought ever for CSGO. Only the thing that comes close is the difference between Hydra and Shattered Web, and that's a quite significant amount of time, especially when we consider that CSGO hasn't really had any major updates excluding CS2. We want to look at the maps themselves. Maps should have been rotated quite a while ago, and looking at a brand new case, we're coming up on the fact that we really should see one. Plus, we look at the schedule, and it would be absolutely perfect, because we're not going to see another CSGO major for a significant amount of time, because we don't have another one in 2023. Therefore, an operation would slide in absolutely perfectly and provided some much needed content when CS2 does release. Now that actually creates a really interesting situation, because if you're not aware, CSGO has a pretty consistent trend, and that's the fact that when an operation releases, a lot of items drop significantly in price. All across the board, it's quite a significant trend, because people are selling this because they want to buy into the brand new content that was just released. However, we can also look at the fact that CS2 pumped the market quite significantly when the announcement was made, and it's not super out of pocket to believe that that would happen once again when everyone gets access to CS2. But you can see the obvious problem here. We have an item that usually drops the market significantly, and we have an item that pumped up the market significantly. So that raises the question of, how do you profit off of something like this? Well, there's one very obvious route, and that's going to be buying up filler skins. Filler skins are one of the areas that consistently pump quite significantly when an operation releases. Considering they are looking just slightly above their 12-month low, it might be a pretty advantageous time to hop into some of these. Otherwise, when it comes to an update like this, the main profit to be made is not losing out big, and I say that because there's a lot of different ways you can really hurt yourself. The first of which is selling at super low prices. Provided items do actually decrease, because we're saying it's a normal operation, items decrease, and then you're forced to sell at that super low price, plus you're hit with a fee, and then you're going to be a lot less capital trying to invest into whatever happens. Operations bring the most opportunity for investing inside of CSGO with one update, because there's so many different routes you can take, and there's so many items that go undeveloped or untouched until many months after an operation and end up spurring a significant amount of growth. I would say personally, operations are great because you can walk in with just a significant amount of capital, and you're going to be in the prime position to make a significant amount of profit if you play your cards right. Now the one I really want to focus in on is a brand new case. Now if we want to look previously at something like the Prisma 2, we can see here that once the case was removed, it actually did just keep on increasing, which was the first of its kind. Usually a case would get removed, it would shoot up, and then it would slowly come back down, giving you ample time to invest. That's not the case anymore. The Prisma 2 is most likely what we're going to see moving forward. However, I do want to note that honestly, in my opinion, I still think it's more beneficial for you to wait and see what case is removed before investing into it. That's because picking out the correct active duty case, at least at this point, point is a really hard thing to do. That's because it's down to a couple decent ones. The recoil has really been struggling as of recently, but you've also got the fracture and the snakebite, which are quite old. That gives you, in my opinion, 2 or 3 options that are actually possibly going to be removed, and therefore splitting your investment across 3 cases, 2 of which are going to remain in the active duty, is just not a smart thing to do. Now, talking about how to profit, there's a lot of different ways. The first of which is looking at that brand new case. We're going to go ahead and just hop into a deathmatch game, and since we've already got our XP super close to giving us that level up because we watched this video, we can go ahead and get that drop potentially $25-$30, super easy, super convenient, and be one of the first to do so. Otherwise, we can go ahead and do some trade-ups for this brand new collection, and since we picked up our filler skins at a relatively cheap price point, we're going to be going for those factory new outcomes. That's because factory new things actually rarely drop from a case for most skins, and therefore they're the most expensive when it comes out in a brand new case or operation or whatever. When the skins hit the market, they're the most expensive, usually by a long shot, because people are just unboxing and not doing trade-ups. Otherwise, we can go ahead and take the investing route, picking up some of that case that got moved into the rare drop pool, which are going to make us a decent amount of money, most likely over a significant period of time. Now, this is not going to be instant like the other two, but this is one of the most surefire ways to make profit for CSGO investing. Otherwise, when any CSGO update drops, there's the opportunity to make a significant amount of profit, and that's with buy orders. Now, putting in a buy order is usually something you want to do if you're looking to get something a little bit cheaper. However, we're looking for pretty much 100% off, and it actually happens. Me personally, I made this video right here because I put in a 3-cent buy order when Antwerp stickers came out, and surprisingly, I actually got some, making me a pretty much $2 profit every time I got one of these stickers. But the thing is, you can do this with every single brand new piece of content that comes into the game, whether that's just a normal sticker capsule or whether that's the brand new operation. There's so many different opportunities here, and the biggest one you want to look for is making sure you're putting in a 3-cent buy order first. If you see some items already got buy orders, you move on to the next one and you try and find some of those. Then you're going to be making a ton of profit for just a couple minutes of time, and it's never going to require any hassle after that. How to profit off of a brand new update boils down to 2 different weapons. You can either go the strategic route or you can go the time-based route. If you're taking the time-based route, it's exactly what it sounds like. We're talking about those buy orders we just did. We're talking about basically you need to be in the right place at the right time and be one of the first to a brand new update. However, if you want to take the strategic route, you're opening up so many different opportunities that you don't have with the time route. That's because if you want to talk about the trade-ups, not many people are doing this because not many people are interested in putting in a couple extra minutes to make sure they can go ahead and get those factory new outcomes. Also, not that many people are stacking up funds in preparation of an operation so they can buy in at a lot of different items for an extremely cheap price point. It's the one area where you can gain such a competitive edge by taking the strategic route that so many people don't even bother because they think it's not worth their time, but it definitely is. But that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.